Good morning. My name is Peter Hall, and this is a program called Talk to the Artist. Today I'm talking with Mr. Bob Hollenbeck. How you doing, Bob?
I'm doing good today.
All right. Tell me a little bit about yourself, okay?
Well, let's go way back. When I was 11 years old, I played harmonica.
All right. You know, how old are you, Bob?
I'm 102 plus.
102 plus. And I know you live in Seneca, Illinois. What's new in Seneca?
Well, the shipyards is growing again.
Okay.
A lot of people work there, and a big grain company owns it now.
Okay. You know, and what else do you like in Seneca? Something you know.
Well, see, I carpentered a lot of years.
Okay.
I came down there in 45.
You came to Seneca in 1945.
Got a job and been there ever since. I lost my wife 26 years ago to cancer,
Yes.
but I still live there. Yeah,
Yes. I lost my wife last year from cancer. Okay.
I see.
And I'll be 75 next month. So
Yeah.
I'm still a youngster to you.
Oh yeah.
And what was the name? I understand you had an orchestra.
Yes,
What was the name of that orchestra?
the Rhythmaires.
The Rhythmaires.
I started that in 1950, and I kept it going until 75.
1975.
It got to where it was a little hard to get the people to work in it.
Yeah.
So then I closed it out, and I was going to retire, and the phone kept ringing. People want me to come join their band.
Okay. Yes. But you still kept up your band, right?
Well, after 1975, I played what you call freelance.
Right.
Somebody called, will you go play one or two jobs with them?
Right. Yeah. And who was the? You know who was? What instrument did you play?
Well, my instrument was a little different. I had a tenor banjo for a number of years. Then I had an electric tenor guitar.
What kind of guitar was that?
Well, this goes way back to the 20s. Before we had electric guitars, they had tenor guitars. They're 4-string.
Yes.
They're easier to play than a 6-string.
Yes.
So I played that in this Rhythmaires.
Yes.
The slower tunes, I played the guitar.
Yes.
The lively tunes, I played the banjo.
Yes.
We even played some square dance music.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know, music is for your soul. You know, I mean, it's just music is for everybody. You know?
Yeah.
And your band, the Rhythmettes, okay? Who were some of the members in that band?
Well, when I was organizing, I got two fellas from Newark that were very good. Gordon Lowry came from Ottawa originally. He was originally he played violin all through school.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then when we took him on, he took drum lessons. He was our drummer, Gordon Lowry.
Yes.
He had a good friend there that was playing trumpet.
Mm-hmm.
He was still in college.
Yes.
His name is Gene Calvert.
Where was he from?
Well, the edge of Newark there, but he was at DeKalb going to school.
Uh-huh.
And after a few years, he left us and moved to Arizona.
Yes. Did you have anybody come in after him, or?
Oh yes, yeah. Have to stop and think there. I had a nice Spencer Zimmerman. He had played in the big bands a lot.
Okay.
He played alto sax,
Okay.
and he played clarinet.
Yes.
So I had him for 10 years.
Uh-huh.
He's gone now. He's deceased. Yeah.
Where was he from? What town was
Marseilles.
He was from Marseilles. Okay.
Yes.
And
I guess he went to school in Seneca. My
Okay.
wife said.
yes. And was there any more band members that you had in your band besides them?
Well, let's see. I have to think a minute.
You probably had
We-
many.
I know we had several girls played piano accordion.
Uh-huh.
My youngest daughter played accordion 2 years.
Yes.
Then it was time for her to go to college, so she put the music down and went to DeKalb. She's a nurse now. Both of my daughters are nurses.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. And what's her first names? What's your daughter's first name?
Well, my oldest daughter is Elaine.
Mhm.
She lives in Madison, Wisconsin.
Okay.
My youngest daughter is Patty, and she lives in what's right by Geneva, St. Charles.
St. Charles.
She lives in St.
Yes.
Charles.
Yes.
Both those girls are retired. They had a
Okay.
good career. Yeah.
And did your wife play in your band too,
No.
or? Okay. You know.
My wife, before we were married, she sang some.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, so she did play in your band. Well, she
Well-
said, you know, that she did play in your band and everything too. You know.
She did a good job of staying home and raising the girls.
There you go. And
On Saturday, I would work during the day at the farm. We had a farm near Mazan.
oh, you had a farm near Mazan.
Yeah.
Was it near the Mazan Creek?
Well, the Mazan Creek is east of Mazan.
Yes.
Yes.
No, but you never
We
had.
were 3 miles west of Mazan.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, okay. Were you near Verona? Was it-
Yes.
Okay.
3 miles to Verona.
Okay. You know, and where did you play at? What were some of the places?
Well,
you
the
played?
one good spot was the Moose. We played a lot at the Ottawa Moose. We also played at Pontiac Moose, Morris Moose.
Yes.
While we were there was a big party at the Morris Moose, and the guest people were from Batavia.
Okay.
Well, when we got near the end at Morris, one of the men asked if we would drive to Batavia. They'd like to have us up there.
Yes.
We said we'd do that a few times.
Yes.
So we had 4 places where we played the Moose.
Yeah. What was the farthest you ever went to play? Batavia?
Well, we had a girl playing accordion, and she was going to school in Bloomington Normal. We went down there and played for a corn festival.
Yeah.
That's probably the farthest.
What year was that? You remember?
Oh man, 60s.
That was the 60s.
Yeah.
The 60s.
Yeah.
Yes. And did you have a lot? You probably had a lot of people come to play, listen to you play. Right? You had a
Well,
lot.
yes.
And
In those days, a lot of people danced. I don't think they do that now.
boy, that's a shame.
Yeah.
You know, I go to these places now, and they have bands, and everybody's sitting there listening to them. you know, I just have to. You got to get up and dance like the old days.
That's
you know,
right.
it's just like you
Yeah.
know, you have to get out and have fun. You know, and you guys created fun. That's what it came to. You played, you created fun with that music and
Yes.
everything too.
Yes.
And
A little later, I was kind of semi-retired. I picked up a job in Streeter at the Pines.
okay, at the Pines and Streeter.
Pines is a real nice place.
Right.
I played 3 years there with a couple of guys from Streeter.
Yes.
When I left there, then I retired.
Did you play anywhere in Ottawa?
Well, the Moose, when they built that, we were the first band to play.
Yes.
Right by the railroad.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Did you play anywhere in Marseilles?
Well, we played at a little VFW
Okay.
in Marseilles in South Maine.
Yes. Yes. And
It wasn't a very big place, but they had a real good time. You
Yes.
know, there was maybe 10, 12 couples.
yes. Did you play in? You know, you said you had a band member from Newark. Did you play any place up in Newark?
Well, that's another story. Newark is quite Scandinavian.
Yes.
Nobody dances. We played at the prom at the Newark High School, and the man in charge said, well, he said, we'll start at 9, and he said, we'll play an hour or so, and then we'll have the Grand March. Well, I called the Grand March there, where you double up 2, 4, 6, 8.
Yeah.
When they finished the march, they marched right out the door.
And do you play any place in Seneca?
Well, fireman's dance.
Oh, the firemen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I played that 2, 3 times.
And what years were that?
Well, it's quite a while ago now. Maybe 60s.
Yeah, 60s and everything, you know.
Yes.
And everybody danced in the firehouse.
Very
right?
good.
Yeah, they lit the firehouse on fire, right?
Yeah. Sure.
And
When I played at the Pines, we had a good system. We played 3-hour job from 8:30 to 11:30. When your first hour, you played 45 minutes and you were off 15. The owner, they like to have a 15-minute break. People buy a drink.
yes,
Then the second hour, you kind of pick up the tempo a little bit, you know, and get the old banjo out, play 5'2" Eyes of Blue.
you know, and
The third hour kind of tapers off. The older people leave and go home.
yeah,
And if the people left by 11, we could quit.
Yeah.
We didn't have to go the half hour with nobody in there.
Yeah. that song should be played today in all the dances. 5'2" and all. You know, you got to bring back do all that stuff again. You know.
Yes.
And
We played a lot of things like shanty and old shanty tongue.
yes, you know.
Bill Bailey, won't you please come home?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like, you know, we've gone through the wars and everything. World War I, World War II, Vietnam wars and stuff like that too.
Yes.
And everything, you know, like World War I,
Yes.
the song was "The Yanks Are Coming,"
Yes.
you know, and then inspirational songs for the soldiers, you know.
Yes.
And in World War II, you had I can't remember who it was, you know.
Yes.
The Bugle Boy from
I had-
Company C,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, that was inspirational for for that, you know. And in the Vietnam, a lot of my generation
Yes.
music is that came out, you know. And basically it was this. I think some of our greatest weapons are song and an ink pen.
Oh yeah.
You know, they listen to the songs, and you know, it's the Vietnam War. Basically, to my generation, okay, you had the Vietnam, a lot of strive, you know, a lot of protests and everything, a lot of strive. You know, I was a veteran also too, and you know, we had a lot of strive in it, but we always, all of us, kind of relied on that music until it came to the pen, a pen to end
Yes.
it. You know, it's to the soul. You know, the music was to our soul.
Yes.
You know, you know, it is today.
Yes.
It really is today. You know, and
I had a brother that was in World War II, and he was a musician. He played a 6-string guitar, and he and I'd play at those old country schools.
yes.
That was another kind of a phase.
Yeah, you played in the schools and everything too. During
Sure.
the war, you had a lot of people went and played music in the war. You know,
Yes.
because it was something. Is during this too is just the same now. We're in a anxiety. You know, you have a lot of tension, anxiety on society. You went there to take the young people and play there, to have them, because they all worried back then too. They
Yeah.
all worried just like we worry here now, you know. And it's just the music that soothes us, you know.
Yeah.
Yes, we you know, we have. I go with you every Friday to have dinner with you
Yes.
in Marseilles,
Yes.
and we all us guys sit there. We think we solve all the world problems while we're eating.
Yes.
And then we walk out the restaurant and reality sets in, you know. And but that's what really, that's life.
That's good.
That's this. And
Yeah.
you know, it's your music. Who do you think in your town, young person, because we're all mentors, you know, on our music.
Yes.
Who was one of your mentors
Well,
in your music?
it took about 20 pieces to play a 3-hour job. So if you tried one and it didn't go over, you put it aside.
Okay.
If it did go over, then you played it every time you played.
Right.
Yes.
But I mean, did you follow, music, what I'm into mentor is, who'd you like playing? Like Glenn Miller songs or somebody like that? You know,
Well,
what type of songs did you play?
like say, the waltz you say for me, we would play 3 waltzes. One of them was Wayne King. Something about saving the last dance for me.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Save the last. That's a traditional song, you know. Many people have covered that song, you know.
We used to go to the Mazan Fair,
Uh,
and I danced at the Mazan Fair instead of playing. Yeah, they had a big band, you know,
Yeah.
maybe 9, 10 piece. I never played in the big bands. I played in the 4 and 5
yeah.
people in the band.
Was there any big bands from around here? I know, like there was Wayne King. I think Wayne King from. I think he
Well-
was from Ottawa here.
Local bands, there was one guy they called Bubbles. Bubbles was in a big band,
Yeah.
and then there was another one that was Folletti,
Okay.
and they were at 9, 10 piece, you know, and they played at the fairs.
Okay.
I knew some of the guys that played in those
Okay.
those 9-piece bands.
Yes.
Yeah.
But did you pick up some of that music they played?
Yes.
And that's what you really paid.
Sure.
You know, that was kind of your mentor, you know. You picked up some of the songs and played it what
Yes.
they do, you know. And you know, you have young musicians. You know,
Yes.
I consider myself, I'll be 75 years next month myself, you
Yeah.
know, but next to you I consider young, you know,
Yes.
a young guy, you know, and it was like, you know, back in the days I used to hear bands and everything, you know, and you pick up some of their music,
Yes.
pick up something like that. Do you have any sense of some young people that listen
You know, at that time there was very few women in the bands. You know, it was pretty near all men.
to? Yes.
Yeah.
And was there any young ones in your band? You would consider young.
One or two.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I know.
Accordion players.
I know there's some a couple real good musicians that come out of Seneca. You know, for example, there was a guy, famous guy in the Illinois Valley, Les Lockridge. Did you know him?
I knew him.
You know,
Yes.
you know,
Les Lockridge.
Yes. And you
Well,
know, I
what's
just
that fellow that played at Stars Rock quite a while out there on
Steve Sharp.
yeah, Steve Sharp. Yeah, Steve Sharp.
Yes.
You know, and everything. And you know, that's kind of like young guys. They're old now. I mean, they're not old. They're young to me.
Yes.
You know, I mean, but they picked up a lot of musicianship
yes.
because they had mentors too. You know, I know Les is passed now. You know, he's passed away now, Les Lockridge. But you know, a lot of his music is still carrying on.
Yes.
You know, and he had a band. He had a band. I think the Buckaker, and you know that's probably one of the most famous rock bands. You know, they were rock bands out of Illinois Valley, and
Yes.
Les was from Seneca. A lot of people were from the Illinois Valley that were in that
Sure.
band, you know, and everything. And the instrument, I'm just going to get back to you a little bit. Your instruments, I understand you had a guitar.
Yes.
What kind of guitar was it?
Well, you know, you make a lot of friends when you're playing the band.
Yes.
People will come and ask you for a certain tune that you played the last time you were there.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. But I thought you had a Gibson guitar.
Yes.
Yes.
I got Gibson guitar and banjo.
Okay.
I had a friend ran a music store in Coal City, and I had cheaper instruments first. Some of them were used.
Yes.
I had a Continental banjo that I liked, and it was a $50 instrument.
And you know, the Gibson guitars have quite a bit of history behind them. You know.
Yeah.
You know, and what do you remember? What kind of Gibson guitar you had?
Well, see, it was unusual to have a tenor guitar.
Right.
When the electric guitars came in, tenors went out.
Yes.
It was nice to play when you were singing. I sang too.
Yeah.
And you could play all four strings at the same time, and it gave you a chord.
Right. Yes. Well, Bob, I really want to thank you today for this interview. It's been really, really a nice time, a nice interview.
I enjoyed it.
You know, and you know,
Can you give us a song?
huh?
Can you give us a song?
Can you give us a song of like you played?
Well, one that we started with was Love. Love.
Yeah.
Love.
Do you know it?
No, not anymore.
Okay.
I haven't played in 10 years.
Who was your favorite big bands? You know, like Glenn Miller. Was Glenn Miller a favorite of yours, or who was some of your favorite big bands?
Well, Eddie Arnold.
Eddie?
He's country, you know.
Yeah. Yes.
I played, his main tune was Anytime.
Anytime.
Every time we played Anytime.
Right.
Yes.
Yep. And well, I thank you very much,
Yeah.
Robert, and it's been a pleasure. And I won't see you this Friday night. This Friday, I'm going to St. Louis, but
Yes.
I'll see you a week from Friday. How's that on dinner?
That'll be
all right,
great.
all right,
Yeah.
all right. Thank you.
Did we do all right?